It's only been a couple of weeks since Honda launched its first BS6 scooter, the Activa 125. We now have with us Honda's first BS6 motorcycle, the SP125. And just like the Activa, a BS6 engine isn't all that's new, and Honda has given it a bunch of updates. Let's take a look at what it's like.
To begin with, it looks more upmarket. Gone is the simple commuter-like design. The SP125 now features sharper and more contemporary bodywork. For instance, the muscular tank and tank extensions look like they've been inspired by the CB Hornet 160R. Tying in nicely with the more aggressive front end is the sleeker headlight and the cowl surrounding it. Even though it isn't noticeable, Honda has also made small changes to the rear end and given the taillight an updated look. It's quite difficult to fault the styling of the SP125, especially when you consider the humble segment it belongs in.
But that's not all. The SP125 is also longer, wider and taller than the CB Shine SP, and this is really apparent when you see it in person. Thanks to this, the bike also doesn't look like one of the 110cc models anymore, and it has the presence of a 125.
Now that we know it looks the part, let's discuss what sits underneath the bodywork. The BS6 compliant engine has a smaller bore, longer stroke and uses fuel injection instead of a carburetor this time around. The engine still puts out very similar figures. It makes 0.5 more horsepower and torque, but that isn't very noticeable. What is though is the refinement. It's only really high in the rev range where you won't find yourself too often that you'll notice a touch of vibrations and a gravelly note. But the engine is otherwise quite smooth. The 5-speed gearbox remains the same, and like before, it's much smoother than 4-speed units most commuters use. Speaking of the gearbox, don't mistake the additional gear to add to the performance, as it's purely an overdrive, which is quite clear with 4th and 5th gear capable of similar speeds. 5th gear essentially does the same as 4th with much lesser stress on the engine. Honda is claiming that the new BS6 compliant engine is also 16% more fuel efficient than the older model. This is something we'll put to the test as soon as we get the chance.
What's better news than the fact that Honda has got the engine right are the new features. Like the BS6 Activa 125, this one gets Honda's silent start feature and an LED headlight.
But that's not all. The new fully digital instrument cluster also displays a host of information, including real-time fuel efficiency, distance to empty, and a service due and gear position indicator. While it might not seem like much, these features add a lot to the convenience and comfort on a motorcycle that will most probably be the buyer's workhorse. What these buyers will also expect from the SP125 is impressive ride quality, and the bike won't disappoint. Like the older model, this one runs a telescopic fork and adjustable twin shock absorbers that swallow most uneven surfaces. Handling too is decent when you consider how slim the tires are.
To conclude, what Honda has done with the SP125 is quite smart. The revised engine, added features and small but significant styling tweaks prove that the SP125 is more than just a BS6 update. Yes, the Rs 9,000 price hike over the older Shine SP is quite high, but it's not unreasonable when you consider that other products are witnessing a similar price hike with the switch to BS6. The one thing left to do is find out how it compares to the only other 5-speed 125 in India, the Pulsar 125 Neon.